Okay guys, we are back with Exploring DFW Card Places. Today we're in Plano at Beckett and we're going to give you a little sneak peek of maybe some little secrets. Alright guys, today we're at Beckett with, in my opinion, the face of Beckett. He's a senior sales executive. He is my rep. This is Aram. If you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself, how long you've been here and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys. I'm Aram Munoz. I have been at Beckett for 23 years already. Been here for a very long time. This being my passion, I got into collecting when I was very young, and then it just grew into a passion and into a career now. It's been great.
I mean, Beckett's been awesome for us. Obviously, we've been using, that's the company we started with. That was the first one. He takes care of us. He does everything. Obviously, if you guys go to shows, you see him. He's there. He handles everything. He's the boss. He runs the business. What's changed over the years with Beckett? Obviously, you said 23 years. I'm sure there's got to be a lot.
No, for sure. We've had several leadership changes over the past few years. A few more, one recent where we just got taken over by a bigger group of investors, which is making our company a lot more, taking us into a lot more bigger technology and better tools for the customers themselves. So which we're really looking forward to implementing those here fairly soon.
You've been here for 23 years. What's some of, like, obviously it's hard to name just one, but what's some of like the, maybe not like highest price, but like coolest stuff you've seen graded, whether it's authenticated through BAS or graded through you guys? I mean, that's sick. The Cowboys, that's cool.
Yeah, man, being here, you kind of get a little numb to seeing some sick cards. I mean, just because you see them on a daily. So when somebody comes up and they're like, hey, I got this, even a Jordan rookie, and it looks really nice, you're like, oh yeah, I've seen 20 of these this week, But I mean, for me personally, when people come in with like signed game used memorabilia, that always like, oh man, that's pretty cool. We actually had somebody come up with an actual piece of the Dream Team. I don't know if it's like a flag or something that is signed by the Dream Team.
Signed by like all of them?
All of them.
Wow,
I'm like, sick. Man, I'm like, geez, this is insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so stuff like that, this signed stuff, just because you just don't see it as often, is really what I like to see. Card-wise, I mean, when you see the 101, big stuff, like the kind of stuff you guys usually submit, the logo man, 101 stuff, that's always cool to see. But yeah, I mean,
it's gotta be cool. I know we've talked in the past that you have like famous people, celebrities, athletes, and stuff. When they usually come, I feel like you, for the most part, deal with them. Are you allowed to speak on like who?
No, not really. I wish I could. I mean, there has been a few. I mean, big celebrities come through and do some business with us. I mean, we did have a Micah Parson. I mean, I can't talk about that because we have it all over our socials, so it's not a big secret.
Right.
But he was up here when he did his ticket.
Aaron Judge
ticket. Yep. We did that for him. That was pretty cool seeing him just walk around and just taking everything in. But yeah, I mean, it's just cool. Just meeting people, new people, people that across other places that you've heard of, and then you finally go to a show and finally meet them in person. That's awesome.
Put a face to a name.
That definitely.
So in the past 4 years, I would say cards have changed. Obviously, in like 2019, 2020 era, it was like kind of what it used to be, and then it went crazy. People were grading $1 cards all day and stuff, and obviously now we're kind of getting back to what was, for lack of a better term, normal. What changes would you say that's brought to Beckett, and like adjustments you guys have had to make?
It's really just back then. I mean, we were getting a bunch of just base cards. People were just submitting everything and anything to us. So now what we're seeing is people being a little bit more selective as to what they submit, which is really what grading was, and it should be. There's those people that they make a killing and just turning and burning the raw cards. I mean the base cards. But we have seen that turn as of late. Just people submitting their higher end, their stuff that they know that or prospects, people prospecting on baseball, that they think that these guys are going to pan out in the future.
Definitely. The Black Label, speak on that, because that was like, I remember, I don't know when you guys released that, but I remember that became like boom, overnight, that was the coolest card in the industry. Like, nothing beats the black label.
Yeah, when that was implemented, man, I want to say it was 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more. That really brought that extra kick that we needed, just to give you that extra prestige on a perfect 10 card. Right. But because back then all we had was the gold label, black 10. Label, the gold 10, perfect. But just giving it that extra push really just have given us that extra little nudge.
I mean, it's the best grade. It's the best grade in the hobby.
It is. It doesn't get better. Yep, that's the cream of the crop. Absolutely.
Do you want to go through the process of like when someone drops a card off? So people who are new and maybe they've never graded before, they obviously haven't sent to us or sent to you guys directly. Like what the process is for them to do something like that?
Sure. So when somebody comes in, either through the mail or dropping off in person, the order gets taken in. If it's at a show, we usually charge up front on our machine there. Everything gets filled out and invoiced there. Then we take it back in-house. The invoicing team then grabs the order and invoices, make sure that all the address, everything that they wrote on there is legible and correct. If it's an online submission form, then we just verify the count on cards. After that gets verified and accounted for, then it goes into what we call verification, where we have a team of experts back there that all they do is they say, hey, I put down that this was a 1989 Griffey Upper Deck card, and we verify, yes, the card that he submitted is a 1989 Griffey Upper Deck card. So just to verify that what the customer wrote is correct on our side, since there are a lot of different variations and inserts and different parallels to cards, we just want to make sure that what we label it is the correct version. After that, the card goes into the grading queue. It goes and waits there depending on what service level the customer selects. And it waits there up until it's time for those orders. Those days' orders are up. Then the graders grab them. They get junior graded by a junior grader. And then after that, they get senior graded by a senior. And then they go into our labeling process that actually just makes sure that the text on the label is correct. And then it goes into production and then ships out.
With BAS, I know you're more on like the Beckett side, not the BAS side, but I still love it because you can get so much cool stuff. Like you said, the dream team, bringing that stuff in. Is there a way for like for me, somebody who's not back there looking at it, I'm not an authenticator. How would I be able to, is there a way for me to look at cards or look at memorabilia and be like, yeah, I think that's real? For someone who doesn't see it all the time, would you have any recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, what we do offer is our Beckett Quick Opinion. That is always something that I try to get people to do. Instead of going out there and shelling out $250 on a Jordan autograph, you could always send it in for a quick opinion. The authenticators will look at it and tell you if it's likely to pass or unlikely to pass. And at that point, you can make your decision. Instead of shelling out the big amount, you could just say, all right, they said it's likely to pass, so I'm going to try it. It gives you that little extra, comfort, knowing that it maybe I got something here.
So at not every show, but I know at every Dallas show and every national, you guys do RCR, GCR, and slabbing on site. Do you want to explain to them a little bit, maybe like what RCR and GCR are?
Sure. RCR is our raw card review. It is pretty much, you could call it a pre-grading of the card. What the graders do is they still look at the card and evaluate it the same way. The only thing is you do not get the subgrades on it. The cards then get placed into a semi-rigid holder to protect the grade, and then it all gets sealed up by a tamper-proof sticker displaying the overall grade that the grader gave it at that time. And then at that point, we give it back to the customer. If they're happy with the grade, then they can submit it in to get slabbed. The GCR is a graded card review, so any card that is graded either by us or by any other grading company, we look at it and evaluate it. We'll come back with a little white note on it, and it'll tell you what the card might grade with Beckett.
Yeah. The only thing you can't do is go for a Beckett 10, correct?
If you do, well, GCRs, you could submit them. I mean, it'll come back and it's just going to tell you what the grade is. So you don't like the grade, you take it off. The only time we do no 10 to 10 from another grading company is if you're trying to review it straight up. Like, we're
like get a slab.
Out of slab. Yeah.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up here with a ROM from Beckett. Thank you very much for having us come in, and I know you're very busy guys, for taking the time out of your day. And I hope to see you guys at the next show. We'll be here next Friday or next Thursday, Friday,
yeah.
Saturday, Sunday. He'll be there. I'll be there. Tatum will be there. We'll all be there. So I hope to see you guys
all
there.
Right, guys. Thank you.